I actually woke up this morning and felt a little optimistic about today. As a whole, with the landscape of Philadelphia sports, I felt, it's been a good weekend. The Phillies are, somehow won a doubleheader, won both games of a doubleheader on Friday night, and then won again yesterday, and maybe turn a little corner, have a shot at the playoffs, and I know it's a weird kind of year, but still it's better than not, right? And the Eagles, I know it was a tough loss last week, but you put that behind you. It's a game day. It's another game, another opponent. You know, they did show some promise early in that game last week, and maybe that can be that team that comes out today instead of the team that ended the game last week. And I had some optimism. I was listening to sports talk with the radio with my breakfast, and just sitting there with the waffles and the hash browns, thinking, maybe things will go well today. I know we live in a sports town where let's just face it, more times than not things don't go right. But maybe this will be a good weekend. Maybe the teams will come through today. I know there's no fans in the stands there, but maybe the Eagles, being it's a home game, they'll show up. And for what it's worth, Peterson going into the game hadn't lost to McVay, and okay, Wentz is going to be geared up because he's going up against Goff, and all right, Aaron Donald's a beast, but he's never really had much success versus the Eagles, and okay, maybe today will be a good day, as Ice Cube, once sang about, right, many years ago. And then the game started, and the Eagles get the ball first, and on the first drive, Miles Sanders, who returned, who was back, played for the first time this season, is one of his first carries of the season. He fumbles the ball, and the Rams get it, and right then, here comes the dread starting to you get that feeling in the back of your neck, and just starts to take over the head, and then here come the Rams, just make it look so easy down the what short field as the Eagles' opponent had a week ago for the whole second half. Here are the Rams with a short field off another turnover, and they get a touchdown. There's a big shocker, because God knows this defense can't stop anybody after a turnover from scoring a touchdown. That would be too much to ask, and then of course, the Eagles get a field goal, and then, the game continues on the first half, and the Rams are just marching down the field, easy as can be, no problems, open receivers everywhere. They can't cover the tight end. They forgot how to cover a tight end. Running backs are making plays. There's an offense that's moving the ball, that's having success, right? All of a sudden, it's a 21-3 hole. 21-3. And again, I woke up feeling a little optimistic today. 21-3. And I texted my buddy Big Slim, and I said, Big Slim, this is, in so many words, I said, this is not going well. I think I threw an 0-16 in there at some point. Things were not looking good. But, then the Eagles, hey, they make it a 21-9 game. They score a touchdown, and for some God knows why reason went for two. I'm not the coach. If it were me, I would have just taken the extra point there, but whatever. And of course they don't get it, because they tried some, sweet play with Miles Sanders for a 2-point conversion. Okay, but anyhow, that, of course, doesn't work, and they're down 21-9, and oh my God, miracle upon miracles, before the end of the half, another team turns the ball over, not the Eagles. Cooper Kupp fumbles the ball on a kickoff just before the half. The Eagles get a gift right there, and they score a touchdown. Miles Sanders, this time didn't fumble, goes in the end zone. Eagles are in the game. They're in the game. It's a 5-point game. Here we go. Look at this. Second half, we get stop the Rams for once. We get the ball. We're going on a nice drive. Things are looking a little positive. looking good. They're converting on third down. D-Jax is not on some stupid pitch count. He's actually on the field making plays. First down, first down, first down. He's yapping at the Rams. First down, here we go. And for some God knows why reason, on first down, when they're in the red zone, they decided to go for the big play. Because, you forget you were doing good running the ball. You forget, it's first down. And who are we going to go to, right? No, don't forget about Deshaun Jackson. All he did was convert on third down time and time again. Forget about one of your talented tight ends, who were pretty quiet today. But forget about, because one of the teams remembered how to cover a tight end. But anyhow, forget about them. We're not even Rieger, not even your rookie, supposed to be standout, receiver, right? We're going to throw a ball to Jay Jaw, because nothing wrong could ever happen when you throw a ball in his direction, right? Oh, what could happen? Interception. Interception. First of all, it was a horrible pass by Wentz. Why in the world you're trying to throw a ball there in double coverage, I have no idea. Why in the world you're even trying that pass to begin with, I have no idea. Then, coupled with that, you have a receiver who... You remember some years ago when all those great running backs were taken? Kamara and Cook and all those wonderful running backs, and the Eagles wound up with a guy who's not even in the league anymore, who could hardly even hack it in the XFL. Okay? Pumphrey. That's the guy that we got in that draft. Darnell Pumphrey. Oh boy, that wonderful household name. So, last year's draft, all these wide receivers who are making impacts on all their different teams, right? McLaurin's and Metcalf and all these guys, all these receivers, this great crop of receivers. But for some reason, the Eagles wound up with Jay Jaw. All those great receivers, and no, don't worry about Metcalf. What's he going to do? We got this guy from Stanford who's going to really turn some heads in the red zone. That's what he's going to do. So anyhow, we're going to throw the ball to him because we have faith in Jay Jaw for some reason. They have faith in the guy. So, of course, he doesn't really make a play on the ball either. I mean, that's the thing. Look, it was a pass that shouldn't have been attempted by Wentz. I mean, you're trying to thread the needle there. But you have a receiver who's not really known for overly trying to make a play on the ball. He kind of, as they said in the post-game show, alligator bodied it. It goes to the Rams, and all the momentum that the Eagles had is gone. Because, of course, here come the Rams right down the field, and they get a field goal, and, they're right back. They're right back there. All the momentum shifts right there. And I said in the pregame video, I said, you can't lose the turnover battle with this team. You gotta win that turnover battle and keep, make good plays. It's a good defense, but don't make them better than they are. I mean, it's the old keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, stupid, right? No, big opportunity like that, we're going to throw the J Jaw because that's what you want to do. Look, guys are on the roster. You're going to throw the ball to them. It is what it is, but there's certain situations. What in the world are we doing? Why? Why was that pass even attempted? And not even attempted, but attempted to that guy. He's been a stiff ever since he took the field for the Eagles. And again, it's poor drafting by Howie. It's just poor decision making by the organization. It's a shame because, and that game didn't lose the game. That play didn't lose the game, but it's just a microcosm of not just this game, but this season to this point. It's trying to be too aggressive with an offense where you don't need to be. It's first down. You don't have to go for that throw right there. No one was open on that play. So why not just either throw the ball away, dump it off to a receiver, something. Not that. That's the last thing you needed there All the momentum at that point, just before that interception, was with the Eagles. They captured the momentum back in the game. They're driving for what could have been a go-ahead score, and instead you turn the ball over. And here come the Rams. You give it right back to them. The momentum that the Eagles briefly had went right back to LA, and you saw how the rest of the game panned out. Just like a week ago against Washington. Just trying to do too much. I mean, I don't understand why on 1st and 10 you don't just hand the ball off to Miles Sanders, let him make a play. I mean, you don't need to go for the touchdown. There's other things that they could have done there instead of, wow, here's J-Jaw double covered, let's go to him. And, of course, the rest of the game happens the way it happens. Another turnover later in the game. They lost a turnover battle, I believe it was at 3-1. And they lose the game 37-19. And now they're 0-2. And there are more questions than answers. And it's the ugliest start to a season since Chip Kelly was here. The Eagles hadn't started 0-2 under Doug Peterson to this point. Now they have. It's not just being 0-2. You can start 0-2 and play well, and just circumstances happen, a fumble here, a missed field goal there, you lose 2 nail-biters, heartache, heartbreak type of games. But just how this team has lost these 2 games. Let's think about this. They're up 17-0, which, by the way, the Washington football team, Arizona seemed to know how to win a game when they were up 17-0 on them, didn't they? The Eagles are up 17-0 on that team, and they got too cute. They went for the big play instead of just, again, keep it simple, stupid. And I'm not saying revert it back to 1950s football. Okay, hand it off twice, and then you throw on 3rd down or whatever, okay? I'm not saying that. But, again, you have to know your personnel. You have to understand you don't need to go for those type of plays in those situations. Why are you afraid to hand off on 1st down? When you have a good drive going, or go, just. But anyhow, you're up 17-0. Like I said, against Washington, you start getting cute. You turn the ball over. You give that team momentum. All the momentum in the world was with the Eagles in that game. Everything was going right until that interception. And then you gave a team that was on their last gasps in that game oxygen. And a chance to have the momentum go in their favor, and that's exactly what happened. And it avalanched after that turnover. Today again, look, the interception in the end zone withstanding, you're down 21-3. 21-3 in your home opener. I know there's no fans, and I said before that in the pregame vid I did. I said that that's an issue because you know why? It's not just that these fans make noise and whatever. It's they give the team juice. There's no juice in this team. They're like lifeless zombies out there. I mean, you saw that the whole game. You see these shots at the sidelines. No one's up there firing anyone up. And yeah, they lost some of those leaders like a Malcolm Jenkins. But no one is there firing anyone up. No one's there, getting in someone's face saying, hey, you see this with other teams. The Eagles haven't done that the first 2 weeks. There's nothing there. And at least if this was a home type situation with fans in the stands, the fans are giving some sort of juice from the stands. There's no energy. There's no emotion. And you're going to have to deal with that because guess what? There's not going to be fans in the stands the whole season, more than likely. This team's got to find emotion. They got to find that juice. They got to... it's like one thing goes wrong for them and they just collapse. And in football, things are going to go wrong. It's not going to be perfect all the time. You got to find a way to fight through it. And they don't. It's just one thing. It's like they expect it. Oh, here comes the fumble. Here comes the interception. Here comes a touchdown by the other team. And now we're done. It's the first quarter of the damn game. It's the first half of the game. And it's 21-3, just like that. And it's like they're lifeless. Lifeless corpses out there. And it's across the board. It's across the board. It's the front office, not doing enough. Not just this offseason, but last season when there were players available to be had that could have been difference makers and changers for this team, and not making the move, not giving up the precious draft picks to bring players here who can help the team, like a Micah Fitzpatrick. Young player still under contract. You make the move. If you're going to be this team that's going to be in the hunt all these years for, multiple, postseason, runs, and you're a team that doesn't draft very well, that's one problem. Well, you got to supplant it somehow. And if Howie's just going to be falling asleep at the wheel every time there's a player, I'm not saying just the grade A names. There was other players out there that could have helped this team he didn't even look at. I mean, the running back situation, like I said, Boston Scott's a decent running back. He is. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Like I said a week ago, you had Adrian Peterson out there. You had Leonard Fournette out there, a bigger back, give you those tough yards. Maybe that would have been a nice combo behind Miles Sanders. That's all I'm saying. But then again, it doesn't matter if you're not going to run the ball. And they did a better job today running the ball. I don't think that it was too lopsided pass to run. They did a decent job running the ball, and I think for the most part they ran the ball pretty good against the Rams. But again, I look back at the decision-making by the front office. That's a problem. The scouting's a problem, obviously, because the draft picks. I mean, you're seeing these draft picks every week on other teams make plays, and for the Eagles, I mean, we're just waiting. And we're hoping that Rieger will be that guy. But we don't know. He looked a little lost out there today. And again, he's a rookie. I'm not gonna sit here and expect him to be a all-pro wideout, like Randy Moss was many years ago with the Vikings, setting the world on fire. I mean, that doesn't happen, every year with rookies, particularly at the wide receiver position. But I am seeing other teams have these young players making impacts, rookies making impacts, and the Eagles, it's just like, where is it? Maybe once in a while. Maybe a Miles Sanders comes along. But more times than not, they just seem to miss. And particularly at different positions like cornerback, receiver. They don't even believe in linebackers. I mean, who are they? I'm seeing Floyd out there today making plays for the Rams. He was available. You think he couldn't have been a difference maker on this linebacking core? Oh, we don't need linebackers. What are linebackers? No one uses linebackers anymore. You look at the problems that this defense has. You look at the schemes. I mean, teams are running up the field on them, left and right. Not just running fields, but when they get in the red zone, they're not settling for field goals. They're scoring touchdowns, and that's a problem. Particularly coming off turnovers, you need your defense to step up and make a play. At least hold the team to a field goal. They're getting in the end zone every time, just about. I mean, he made Higbee out there look like Gronk in his prime. And I know he's a good tight end, but come on, man. Someone's got to cover him eventually, right? No? And just, not enough pressure against the quarterback. No, not just, what, they have like one or like a handful of sacks, if that. I remember Brandon Graham had like one sack. I don't really remember, Goff being very, running around for his well-being out there. I mean, I know they got a little pressure on him for, a little time there. And, he started, what did he start? Like, I forget what he started. It was just crazy, how many conversions he would, but they were easy. I mean, he was given all day, and even if not, they were designing rollouts for him. And I'm sitting here watching this game, and it's like every down, Jared Goff is rolling out, making plays with his feet, finding open receivers, and the Eagles have the ball, and Carson Wentz is in the pocket. Like, they will not let him roll out. And I understand, a little call, worry because he gets hurt, right? But one of his strengths is he's a mobile quarterback. Let the man roll. Let him extend plays and make things happen. No, we're just going to keep him in the pocket. And you saw exactly how it was working for the Rams, and these design plays and the misdirections and all these things that were leading to touchdowns for them. And the Eagles would get the ball, and it would be like, keep him in the pocket, keep him in the pocket. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying roll him out all the time, put him in harm's way, but once in a damn while, get him out of the pocket. But yeah, the defense, I mean, it just missed assignments. How many times they miss assignment? Oh my God. Again, look, I'm not. You can't use it as an excuse forever because every team went through this offseason where there really wasn't a lot of practice time. There was no preseason, even though starters don't play a lot. But whatever, you don't get those extra reps. What have you. You had a shorter time to really, put the plans into place and whatnot. But, I mean, through 2 weeks, it's just looked bad defensively. Take away the first half against Washington. The rest of that game, and I know they had short fields, but the rest of that game was bad defensively. Today, just a horrible game. Horrible. I mean, the Rams were making it look easy. And I know they're a good offense, but that was like, that they made them look better than they even are. No containment. Letting guys get by them every damn time. I mean, Higbee, it's like you don't even know how to look back. And see, I mean, he's a pretty big guy. I think you would notice him getting open there. Confusion in the secondary, confusion with the linebacking core, and look, they're just not good enough. Let's call a spade a spade. They're just not good enough. This is probably the weakest core of linebackers that I've ever seen on this team. And that used to be a proud position for the Eagles. Guys like Seth Joyner, Jeremiah Trotter, all those guys that used to play. I mean, you look at guys like this, it's like, what the hell? And it's not the defense, Jim Schwartz defense. Screw that, man. Get a new defensive coordinator in here. Believes in linebackers. I see other teams having success at the linebacker position. And the Eagles are going to play this defense where, okay, safeties are going to be linebackers. I don't know. I don't get it. I have been baffled by the Jim Schwartz defense for years. And I know they won a Super Bowl. But you remember back in that Super Bowl, it's not like his defense was stopping that Patriot offense most of the game. They made the one big play on the strip sack, the biggest strip sack in the history of the franchise. But it's really not like that defense. If the offense wasn't doing their thing that game, we wouldn't have won that game. Still would be without a Super Bowl title. And thank goodness we got that. But the Jim Schwartz defense, I mean, the sticks defense and it's more times than not, it just makes you shake your head, and just say, what the hell is this? What is this? They don't believe in putting any pressure on the opposing quarterback because we're gonna play coverage. Well, where was the coverage? If you're not gonna blitz, and you're not going to put any pressure on Jared Goff, then why the hell aren't you covering anyone downfield? Why are the Rams getting open on every damn play? Oh, I know, it's scheme. What is going on? Higbee's open all the damn time. No one knows how to cover. Missed assignments. It's maddening watching this. And as a fan, you know what's going to happen. The other team gets in the red zone, and you know it's going to be a score because this team doesn't seem to know how to defend the red zone. Easy touchdowns left and right, and they're running the ball good on them too. Not enough pressure up front, not enough push up front. But when you get down to it, the real crux of the problem for this season, I've been a Wentz backer since he was drafted, because I believed in the guy, and I know he's gotten hurt, things have happened, what have you. But to be honest, he hasn't been the same quarterback since he got hurt in L.A. in the what would have been the MVP season for him. He just hasn't. He's had moments. End of the season last year, winning games, showing some flash. But for the most part, he just has not been the same. And I hate to say that because I want to believe in the guy. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, let's just start Hurts. Because who knows what we have in Hurts? I mean, to me, that's the wrong way of doing things because I don't want to sit here and play quarterback carousel. Because that's no way to win. You see all these other franchises that do it, they don't win. You need your quarterback. And we don't know if it's Jalen Hurts. We have no idea if it's Jalen Hurts. He hasn't thrown a pass in the National Football League. The amount of money they're paying Carson, it's got to be Carson. But I'll tell you what, he's got to get better. Because that was some straight garbage today by our quarterback. And the play calling, it not good either by Doug. But the passes just are not there. He's overthrowing receivers. He's missing open receivers. He's throwing worm balls. He's throwing bad interceptions. And here's a guy throughout his career, he really hasn't been a turnover machine as far as interceptions, throughout his career. In fact, if you look at the numbers in the red zone, in his career, he's probably one of the best touchdown scoring quarterbacks in the red zone in the league since he's come in the league. So he's had some success in this league. But what we're seeing out of him through the first 2 games this season is unacceptable because he's not a rookie and he's playing like one. Worse than one. Playing like a guy that's never thrown a pass in the National Football League. Ever. Like today was his first game. And I don't know what's going on there, and I don't know if he's gun shy now with these injuries and what have you. Always something seems to happen, including last season. Wins those 4 games, gets into the postseason, and then Clowney knocks him out. And look, I mean, unfortunately, it is part of the game, and there's just some players out there that just can't stay healthy. So maybe he is, seeing ghosts or getting worried or whatever it is. I don't know. But what I'm seeing on that field, is unacceptable for a quarterback that's been in the league now for 5 years. Unacceptable. That was a hot garbage mess today, that game by him today. And I'll praise him when it's time to praise him. And I, like I've said, I've been one of the biggest Carson Wentz backers. I've been one of the guys that, that have said, I believe in this guy. I think he's good. He's going to help us get over the top. And he had a great season going those years ago before the injury in L.A. And even in that game, he was having a good game before the injury. But he just has not been the same. He just hasn't. And like I said, there's been flash last season, the end of last season, winning those games and being a real leader, putting the team on his back. But honestly, you take away like the first quarter of last week's game against Washington, and it's been a mess. And I know the offensive line was a turnstile last week, particularly in the second half of that game. But it has been a mess, even when he's had time. And look, the offensive line, I thought, did a much better job today. I mean, getting Lane Johnson back was a plus. Okay, but even when he had time to make throws, he's just not making the throws. Guys are open, and he's overthrowing them. Time after time. It's like we used to complain all those years about Donovan throwing those worm balls all the time. Carson, he'll throw a few of those, but mainly he misses high. Like, the ball just gets away from him. I don't know if it's his release or what it is, but every time the guy's wide open, he's throwing over them. Even if they catch the ball, they have to jump up in the air and risk injury to get some of these passes from him. And it's frustrating because, like I said, look, I'm not going to sit here and say, we're going to start Hurts next week. Because I don't think that's the thing to do. It's got to be Wentz or it's got to be nothing the rest of the season. Unless, barring injury, he's got to be out there. He's being paid to be a starting quarterback. He should be the starting quarterback. I don't think it should be Jalen Hurts coming into the game. Because now you talk about the season's really lost then. You're talking about putting the hopes in a guy that's never thrown a pass in the NFL? No. But damn it, man, he's got to get better. And it's no excuse at this point. He says after every game, "This is on me. This is on me. I got to be better. I got to be better." Okay, well, don't just say it. Do it. I want to see 3 touchdowns from you next week against Cincinnati in a win. Got to be better. No excuses, man. No excuses. He's not a rookie. He's been in this league for too damn long to be making these mistakes that he's been making this season. And it's not to say no quarterback ever makes mistakes after how many years in the league, because they do. But the good ones respond after a negative, after an interception, after a turnover, right? They come right back. They go on a drive. They score points. It's like Wentz does it, and then the next drive, it's a 3 and out, or it's another, turnover. At least that's what it's been this season. It's frustrating, and I want to believe in the guy. I really do. But he's really not giving me much hope in these first 2 weeks. And we're going to see. We're going to see. I mean, look, next week, you got Cincinnati coming in. And I think it's funny, one of the post-game shows, I think it was on the Fanatic, one of the people on there saying, I'm sorry, it was 4th and John. It was 4th and John. I was watching now on Facebook afterwards. And who would have thought that we would go into this week and say, the Bengals game. The Bengals game is worrisome with a rookie quarterback. But it is. The way this defense is playing, the way our quarterback is playing, I don't care who they're playing next week. The Bengals, the Jets, or maybe the Jets. But whoever. Yeah, the Jaguars, I'm looking at highlights. The freaking Jaguars offense is looking good. With Minshew and a bunch of whoever they are playing. They have juice. And then this offense with weapons and guys that have been together for years just don't seem to know what to do. It's got to be better, and it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable when you have players that have played together for years like Wentz and Ertz and Goddard and it's inexcusable. It has to be better. It has to be better. And I'm not saying you're going to complete every pass, because no one does that. Brady doesn't do that, okay? But it has to be better for a chance for this team to get a win next week against Cincinnati. It has to be better. The quarterback play has to be better. The defense has to be better. The play calling has to be better. You can't look at Howie right now, okay? Yeah, he has to be better too. The front office has to be better. But what can they do right now? Trade deadline isn't for another few weeks. There's nothing you can do right now. It's the players and the coaching staff have to be better, and it's inexcusable because it's not like it's their first year on the job. This is the system that it's been for years, and they've had success with this system. And it has to get better. Because it's an embarrassment right now. This team is straight trash through 2 weeks. 0-2 and a bad 0-2. Like I said, it's not like they're losing games on some fluky play or long field goal or something. I mean, it's like I said, once they get down, it's like the game's over. There's no comeback. Which, unfortunately, there was a big one today in Dallas, which if the Falcons just figured out how to fall on the ball when it's being onside kick, maybe, well, like I said, today was horrendous, sports-wise, for Philly. It's horrendous. We had to witness that Eagles game, and then they flip to the Dallas game, and we see the end of that. And, of course, the Phillies lose. Because, of course, whenever the day the Eagles lose, the Phillies are going to lose too. Of course. Harper, some sort of back. Hey, it's another day in Philly. Of course, one of our players is going to get hurt. What day doesn't go by with one of our players not getting hurt? It happens every damn day. Like I said, man, I woke up today. I was feeling optimistic. And then the Philly teams got to Philly teams. That's usually how it goes. You feel optimistic, and then they remind you, hey, we're Philly teams. There's going to be agita. You're going to get upset. There's going to be we're going to make you start pulling your hair. That's it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. We're not going to have this wire to wire. See, no, there's always going to be something. People wonder why the Philly fans are the way they are. Look at the teams here. You tell me. Since the sports have come back, I don't know, man. At this point, maybe I would have rather just keeping the cornhole championships and esports and games of horse on ESPN than watching this. Because, since sports has come back, the Flyers, which were maybe the one bright spot, because it seems they finally have a goalie, but they get past Montreal. They finally win a playoff series, and then they lose in Game 7 to the Islanders 4-0. Don't even show up for that game. The Sixers, of course, they're not going to win because they're out of Wells Fargo Center. Fire the coach. Now there's talking about D'Antoni coming here. Oh, you thought Brett Brown was bad? Oh, if they get that guy. And the Phillies don't have a bullpen, and then any player who seems to be successful seems to get hurt. And the Eagles are 0-2. I'd say it's gone real well here. And by the way, fans can't go to games. I'd say it's gone real well here since the sports has returned. This has been one. Hasn't it been just? Listen, I know sports is ultimately it's a distraction. It's something to take your mind off of the real issues out there and what have you. I get that, and look, we could be much worse off. Much worse off. We're living in a weird time right now. I'm working from home. We have to wear masks when we go out. There's a lot of stuff that's changed, right? And our way of thinking has changed about a lot of things. And so, look, there's a lot more to be thankful here than to worry about what these sports teams are doing. But boy, they drive me nuts. They just, and like I said, I've been an Eagles fan since 1992. I've seen so much with this team. I've seen the highs and lows. It's been worse than this at times, as bad as this 0-2 start has been. But this team, they just, God, they drive you nuts. They just, because there's talent on this team. They should be better than 0-2. And yet they get off the blocks just so poorly. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing other teams. It's the same old, same old. It doesn't matter what changes. The Patriots are still good. All these, they're still good. They always find a way. And the Eagles they find a way to cough it up. That's what they know. They call it one moment, won a title, will always forever be grateful. And then it's just, okay, well, now here you go. It's the old saying, well, we would take 10 bad years for one title, right? Well, yeah. And the thing that's frustrating about it's not just losing, it's just how they lose. And it's like the simple things. And look, I know how the Falcons lost that game today. I'm looking at them going, man, that's usually how the Eagles lose a game. It's like you forget how to jump on a ball when it's being onside kicked. I still don't understand what the hell the Falcons are doing. And that was the icing on the cake of today to see that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? Yeah, and those few fans that can go to games in the Jerry world, even though they can't go to games anywhere else, basically, or few stadiums, get to enjoy that type of game. I'm like, are you really, that's going to happen? Really, Atlanta? I don't know what it is about Atlanta and blowing leads, but boy, they got some doozies there. I guess it could always be worse. Right? How do you not jump on that ball? How? The guy was looking at the ball, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna go back, just stay away from it, because can't touch it. It's a ball." What the hell, Atlanta? Really? God, man. At least they could have won that game. At least we wouldn't have been alone at 0-2, right? No. Atlanta's got it. The Falcons got a Falcon, I guess. It just not because I'm sitting there. I don't want to get off. I know it. I'm good at getting off tangents, but I'm sitting here, right? The Eagles get. I'm sitting there. I'm going, all right. Well, Dallas is going to score, but come on, no one ever gets the onside kick anymore. Who cares? They're going to lose. And then you see the ball, and they're even talking. Well, you normally don't see it like that, and it's spinning around like a pill on a hot plate, right? And then you have these Falcons just like looking at it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm going, and it's like I can't even get it out of my mouth because now I'm already frustrated with the Eagles, and I'm watching that, and now I'm starting to go. But you're supposed to get the ball, and then all of a sudden, and the announcers go, oh, and Dallas got, I'm like, of course they did. Because that's what today's going to be. Eagles lose, Dallas wins, flip over to the Phillies. Oh, they're losing, okay. Well, bases loaded. We're down 6-1, but we got the bases loaded with no one out. Harper's at the plate, and swinging a miss. No, it's in the dirt, Bryce, why? And he leaves with the back. I'm like, no. And then Baum gets a hit. Because the one positive thing I will say about sports coming back has been Alec Baum. Because he's been really good for the Phillies. He's really good with hitting the runners in scoring position. So he gets a hit. And somehow he gets thrown out at second when the ball went on an error on it. It's going to be an interesting week. I will say this. It's going to be an interesting week. Phillies at least have a shot. And I say a shot because, this bullpen, I can't. It's like the Eagles. I can't trust the bullpen like I can't trust the Eagles defense at this point. I can't trust it. But we'll see. They still have a shot. And, 4 games against Washington and then 3 against Tampa. And, the Marlins have a tough road, Atlanta and the Yankees. So, we'll see. Still fighting for that second place. And, come on. You got to at least take it away from Miami, can't you? I mean, that COVID team, you got to find a way. God knows we can't beat them for some reason. But now that, it's coming down to the stretch, they got Atlanta and the Yankees. You got to find a way to pass them this week. It's got to find a... It's Philly. I know. The rating's already on the wall. Speaking of Miami, go Heat, though. Beat Boston. That's the Miami team I want to see win. Even though Jimmy Butler's there and that poor decision to let him go. That's a Philly way, man. I'm telling you. They get rid of the wrong guy. Or what was the reason? Because he didn't like because the coach didn't like him. The coach was a lame duck anyhow. Why are you catering to Brett Brown? He wasn't going to be here past this year if this team... Don't listen to him. No. Of course Jimmy goes to the Heat and they're 2 wins away from the finals because of course. Stupid Sixers. See, this is why. This. I tell you, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink beer, okay? But these teams, they will make you think about doing it at least. Anyhow, way off tangent, way off topic. I'm sorry, but this has been a very frustrating day. And again, like I said, I woke up, I felt optimistic about today. We saw how well that went today, haven't we? Even the Patriots are winning. With Cam Newton, somehow. See, sometimes it just, for some teams it doesn't matter. For the Eagles, no. We have to go through agita. But the Patriot fans can have 2 decades of bliss. Well, not Super Bowl 52, but besides that. Can we just get, I'll take a decade of bliss. A decade of bliss. No, half a decade. Half. No. 1 year. Anyhow. Disappointing start to the season. 0-2. And like I said, it's not just 0-2. And this division is still crap. I mean, the Giants are 0-2. Now Saquon, hey, get well soon, Saquon, but he's out for the season, it seems. Washington football team is now 1-1 because some team out in the desert that was ahead of them 17-0 knew how to close. But they're 1-1. Dallas miraculously with that gift of all gifts today is 1-1, and we're 0-2. No one's going to run away with this division. This division, it's no one, Dallas, whoever, no one's running away with this thing, okay? Because all the teams are flawed. All the teams have issues. The Eagles have to they got to find a way. To get it together, man. They have to find a way to get some juice. And like I said, man, they're just an emotionless, zombie out there. There's just nothing. It's like they're empty. They have to find a way. And, look, the schedule is what it is. Before the season started, we're looking at that San Francisco game. And unfortunately for them now, they have a lot of big injuries on that team. So who knows what that team's going to even look like when the Eagles go there in a few weeks. But, you got the Bengals coming in next week. And again, there's no home field advantage. There just isn't. They can pump in all the noise they want, which was kind of weird today. It was really just strange. That game, it was a bad game, but seeing like an empty stadium here and they're trying to pump in the sound, it's just not working. It's like, and they had like some of the sound was like at the wrong times. It didn't. Yeah, like I said, it was altogether bad game. But you have the Bengals coming in. I know that they're Joe Burrow. More than likely is going to be a good quarterback in this league, but they got to find a way. And I don't know how, because right now, look, to win a game, I think is going to be the way I feel right after that. The way I felt, I should say, right after that game, I'm going from 10-6 to 0-16. I'm just feeling like, what, this team it's bad, it's horrible, but I have seen this team rebound. And I'm hoping that against hope that they can, because no one wants to have a season, particularly in this town, a losing season for football. No one wants that. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I didn't even say it before the season, Super Bowl, whatever. But to have a losing season in this town for football, even if it's a season with no fans in the stands, it's tough. It's a tough thing to have to deal with and get through, go through game by game and just get more aggravated. And then the worst thing is, if you have a season that's a losing season, you're kind of apathy, sets in where I don't care, whatever, you go through the motions. Maybe you have the game on in the background or whatever, and that's the worst part. That's the worst of it. So I hope to God that doesn't happen. Even though it's been a different kind of year for sports and just a crazy kind of year, the one thing that I think we've always had here is that, passion for the team, and more years than not have decent years. Teams of seasons of at least making the playoffs and maybe making some noise in there or whatnot, but the way it is right now, 0-2, and it's looked bad. It's been bad. The quarterback's been bad. The head coach has been bad. The defensive schemes, it's just been altogether bad. But, as a fan, all I can do is, whine and moan about it here on YouTube, but then hope that, next week will be better. Hope that they find a way to get a win, in a winnable game, I would say, against Cincinnati. And then you go from there, and maybe you build on something. I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws that might not be there. But it's only through week 2. That's the thing, like I said last week, it's freaking week 1. And I had to feel the way I did after that game. Week 1. Well, now it's through week 2. And, hey, the old saying is true. You are what your record says you are. And right now this team, through 2 weeks, doesn't have a win. And they have looked as bad as an 0-2 team can look. But they have to find a way to come together as a team, get it right, and find a way to get a win against Cincinnati next week at home, even though, like I said, home field is really nothing anymore. But find a way. Get it right, get it better. These players have played too many years. They have to be better than this. I would hope. But It's a shame, man. It really is. This game was absolute garbage. The team looked like it, and they deserved it. Look, I mean, hey, not taking anything away from the Rams, they played to win. These two teams, it looked like a 1-0 team against an 0-1 team, right? Like the Eagles never rebounded from that loss against Washington, and the Rams came in feeling good about things, winning that first game, and they played well. The Rams earned this win. Like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from what they did because they played a hell of a game, and they deserve that victory. But speaking as an Eagles fan, it sucks to see my team out there with guys, like I said, who've been in the league for a number of years, play the way they did. And you talk about a Rams defense where, yet again, Aaron Donald really wasn't a factor against the Eagles. It's amazing, that in his future Hall of Fame career, he has had a sack against every team in the league that he's played against besides the Eagles. Now, that's a credit to the Eagles' offensive line, but at the same time, even with that, Wentz had the game that he had. Yeah, and it's not like he was pressured as much like he was a week ago against Washington. The Rams' defense really didn't get to him a lot. They got to him here and there, but it wasn't sustained like it was a week ago against Washington. The Eagles' offensive line did a much better job this week, but our quarterback played piss poor. Making bad decisions and decisions that he should be better than to make. So it is what it is. Look, hey, they are what they are. They're 0-2, and we're going into a week against Cincinnati where maybe before the season we kind of felt, okay, well, we're going to feel good, at least going into that game. And we can't really say that. We can't even say that because this team has, like I said, for 6 out of the 8 quarters in the season this year, they played like garbage. That was a garbage performance today. On both sides of the ball, to be honest. And it was a bad job by the coaching staff. Doug Peterson, poor job. And the coaches on the offensive side of the ball. Jim Schwartz, coaches on the defensive side of the ball, poor job. Simply not good enough. And there's people out there calling for their heads now, and I get it. As fans, we're always going to react that way. When something doesn't go right, we're saying, get rid of the quarterback, get rid of the coach, get rid of the, Now, if it continues for the rest of the season, then we can talk. Okay? Then we can talk. But as it stands right now, they're not going anywhere. All right? Wentz is still going to be the starting quarterback against Cincinnati. Doug Peterson's still going to be the head coach. Jim Schwartz is still going to be the defensive coach. Those 3 pieces are not going anywhere in a week after an 0-2 start. It's just not going to happen. Jalen Hurts is not going to be the starter against Cincinnati, and nor should he be. It should be Carson Wentz out there. And but like I said, man, I'm trying to believe in the guy. I really am. But he's got to prove it. He's got to kind of reprove himself, that he can be that guy. And, like I said, I don't want quarterback carousel here because you see those other teams where it happens and they're not having a lot of success. It's hard. Finding that steady starting quarterback is a difficult thing. Teams go through quarterback after quarterback for years and don't get it right. How many quarterbacks have Denver been through? Since Peyton Manning retired. How many quarterbacks have Cleveland gone through? How many quarterbacks have, Miami and some of these other teams gone through, and we'll see what Tua's about with Miami, going forward down the road. But how many teams have gone through multiple quarterbacks and just not have success? It's a hard thing. And some franchises make it look easy. Some franchises like Green Bay, you can go from Favre to Rodgers, but for the most part, it's going to take time. There's going to, there's growing pains. There's missed opportunities with quarterbacks and whatnot. We had that with the Eagles too for years. I remember before Donovan, how many quarterbacks did the Eagles go through, right? Between Randall and Donovan, and then even after Donovan, right? You had a couple guys here and there, but it really wasn't steady. You had Vic here for a few years, but really until Carson, you didn't have that steady QB, that we could hope would be the reliable one. But we'll see. We'll see. It's a difficult position to master for some organizations. And I don't know. I'm as frustrated as any Eagle fan with the quarterback play to this point. I'm frustrated with the head coach. I'm frustrated with the defense. I'm frustrated with everything. When you're 0-2 and a bad 0-2, it is easy to be frustrated. And I'm hoping against hope that I can get through a Sunday next week and see a victory. But we'll see. They have a lot to do to get that. They have a lot to do, and I don't care who's coming in next week. If it's Cincinnati, whoever, you're 0-2, and it has to get better. And here's hoping that it does, but I have to see it first. Leave comments below, Eagles Nation, and hey, this is the place to vent, right? YouTube. YouTube is that place to vent for our frustrations with our team. But hey, you know what? We'll get through this together, and we'll see what next week brings against Cincinnati, and I'll have a preview vid for that. Of course, the Festive Four, along with that. And, again, hey, tough loss tonight, today, tough start to the season. It's been a disaster to this point. I don't know if it's going to get better. I'm hoping it does, but they have to prove it first. They have to show it first. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully it starts against Cincinnati, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, Eagles Nation, I rambled on for close to 57 minutes. But I had a lot to get off my chest. So thanks for anyone who joined in with the full time here. We'll get through this. It's another week coming up, and we'll have to lick our wounds, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens against those Cincinnati Bengals next week. All right, everyone, thanks for joining in. You all stay safe out there, and remember to subscribe. And once you subscribe to this channel, please click the bell icon so you get notified to my wonderful videos. And also leave that thumbs up. Hey, man, this season I might need it more than ever. So leave that thumbs up and feel free to comment below. All right, everyone, take care. Eagles Nation, another tough one today, I know. But we'll get through this, and we'll see what next week brings. All right, everyone, take care. Bye. Go Birds. Yeah. Yeah. All right.